6 o'clock, and there's the bus, and that's not Richard. It's 6 o'clock, and there's the bus, and we are getting ready to go on the historic Never to Be Erased 2.0 bus tour for the Grand Rapids African American Museum and Archives, and I am your captain. Good morning.
Good morning. So, how do you feel about this second trip going?
I'm excited. Hoping to have as much fun and enjoyment as we did last time. I'm dead ass tired because I'm just tired. We did a lot before the trip, heading up to the trip, and I'm glad we're going to be on the bus here in a few minutes and I can, finally take a breath, I think. So, yay. I'm glad you came again. Videographer extraordinaire. We are going to have a good time. That's it.
Great.
Okay. Deuces. Okay, I'm opening the door.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, what's your name?
Michelle.
Is this your first time on the Grand Rapids?
It is.
Okay, how do you feel about this trip?
I'm excited for it. I really am. I think I'm going to learn a lot and see a lot and meet some good people, so I'm really excited about it.
Okay, what parts are you particularly looking forward to?
The Gullah Geechee Trail.
Okay.
I've always heard a lot about that, so that's the one I'm really looking most forward to, I think.
Okay. All right, enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, what's your first name?
Benny.
And how do you feel about going on this trip?
I'm excited, very excited.
And what particular part of the trip are you looking forward to?
All of it.
All of it. Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Have you participated in the Grand Rapids African American Museum and Archives other activities before?
Not too much, but I know about it.
Oh, okay. So this is your inaugural trip, but it's going to be a fantastic one, right? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
We don't know which, so we're just going to pass out your back. Before we roll, I need somebody to grab the mic and pray right quick. Who's on prayer duty? Prayers is up there. There you go. Y'all talking about the prayers is up there. Oh, Jesus. All right, friends.
Okay, hello, God morning. God, I ask you and thank you in advance for traveling mercies and for grace as we have this tour. We ask you to keep us protected. Please wrap your arms around us and bless us. And thank you in advance for an amazing trip that's about to happen. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's roll, friends. Everybody is on. Everybody is here. Please grab a seat. The bus is about to roll.
Well, it's sunrise and we're on our way to GRAAMA'S Never to Be Erased Tour Part 2. It's October the 9th, 2025. Looking forward to the trip. We're on our way right now. And it's going to be a great time.
because it's affecting somebody else. If it's affecting somebody else, it is affecting me.
Right.
If it's affecting me, it is affecting somebody else. Miss Teresa, and then Miss Tanya. Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. We can't think that because it doesn't impact me, it's okay. I don't have an obligation. I don't have a duty. I don't have a responsibility to try and make an impact, a positive impact, whatever it is. Okay, so my fear is that if we don't come together as a collective when it comes to all of what we're seeing, when you think about the passage that was just read, I really believe that it opens the door for the complicity and then for everyone to say it's okay to move on to the next group. So right now, it is our immigrants. I fear that they will target us again. We're already being targeted, and if no one is saying anything, I just really feel that it opens the door for them to say it's okay. They see what we're doing, but they're really not doing anything. And I feel like they're going to push the envelope further.
Facts. Somebody also said that if I don't do something for somebody else, no one's going to come to my rescue either. So I'm just going to, for the sake of the complication of the mic, the next... Oh, it's okay. I was like, okay, it's like, okay, so the next passage is coming from page 40 and 41. This is quite a speech. Says, we know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. Frankly, I've never yet engaged in a direct action movement that was well-timed according to the timetable of those who have not suffered unduly from the disease of segregation. For years now, I have heard the word wait. It rings in the ear of every Negro with a piercing familiarity. This wait has almost always meant never. It has been a tranquilizing thalidomide, relieving the emotional stress for the moment, only to give birth to an ill-formed infant of frustration. We must come to see with the distinguished jurist of yesterday that justice too long delayed is justice denied. We have waited for more than 340 years for our constitutional and God-given rights. The question, talking about the wait that cannot wait, where do we still see and hear wait today when people ask for change? So think about today, people are asking for change. What kind of changes, and where are we hearing the words wait? After the next election, someone said, Gaza, yeah.
What are we waiting for?
The health care, wait until the next session of Congress. Someone in the back asked, what are we waiting for? Think about the intersectionality of our Black and brown communities and the LGBTQ plus population. What about that? Are we still waiting for some corrections to happen in the way we are policed, the way Black and brown communities are policed? Say it again. The Native Americans.
Prison reform.
Prison reform. What else? How about food deserts in our communities?
Food desert, education,
reparations,
housing,
the unhoused community in our communities. Somebody said reparations.
40 acres and a mule.
40 acres and a mule. Right. So,
Still waiting.
and still waiting. So it's so poignant that even years ago when this was written, we're still waiting for a lot of the same things. And as it stands presently, the strides that we have made are being turned back. Talk about voting, right? We have finally gotten to a point to where large communities in black and brown areas was finally able to vote in a convenient way. These gerrymandering, polling stations being closed, this is happening, changing in the rules. All of this is happening. Intimidation outside of the polling stations. So we're still waiting for opportunities for free, fair, open elections in all communities. So we're still waiting today for those injustices to be corrected. So don't forget.
Income equality.
Income equality, absolutely, absolutely. Say it again, Miss Linda. Waiting means it's denied. How much time we got before we get where we're going? $18 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna skip to the last part. I had two more, but I think I'm gonna. What? Maybe we can get a both. Maybe we can get a both. Breaking unjust laws. Let's talk about that for a minute, because people want us to not want to do. When we want to get up and say something, do something is a problem. So we're going to talk about breaking unjust laws. Breaking the law. You express a great deal of anxiety over our willingness to break laws. This is certainly a legitimate concern. Since we so diligently urge people to obey the Supreme Court's decision of 1954 outlawing segregation in public schools, it is rather strange and paradoxical to find us consciously breaking laws. One may well ask, how can you advocate breaking some laws and obeying others? The answer is found in the fact that there are two types of laws. There are just and there are unjust laws. I would agree with St. Augustine that an unjust law is no law at all, and then finishes with, let us turn to a more concrete example of just and unjust laws. An unjust law is a code that a majority inflicts on a minority that is not binding on itself. An unjust law is a code that a majority inflicts on a minority that is not binding on itself. This is difference made legal. On the other hand, a just law is a code that a majority compels a minority to follow that it is willing to follow itself. This is sameness made legal. We see this. We see this. The laws are changing, being changed right in front of us, as the administration just don't care, quite frankly. But here's the question. Can you think of laws or policies, past or present, that were challenged on moral grounds? What kind of laws have been challenged because they were just not moral? Present or past? Death penalty in some states, okay. 3 strikes law, prison reform, okay. Okay.
Roe v. Wade.
The not equal. The
Roe v.
punishment
Wade.
is not equal for people who, for the same crime being committed, punishment, or even if you didn't commit the crime, punishments being meted out unequally. Okay. Separate but equal.
Roe v. Wade.
Roe v. Wade.
Difference between sentencing for crack cocaine and powder cocaine was stark. Many more years for small ounces of crack cocaine as compared to powder cocaine. Pro-life, not just the Roe v. Wade, but pro-life, those who fight to rule somebody else's body, but are in favor of death penalties or other forms of death.
What about even now? What about cannabis? That's a today thing, like today thing. So there are people that are still locked up for something that's legal now. So the differences in the terms of the sentencing, right? So unequal juvenile justice from the back there. Any others that we have not mentioned that's coming to mind? Yes, I see a hand over here on my left, by the window. But I can't see a face, so I can't call a name. No? Yeah? Okay, back in the back, behind blue.
What about all the states?
That's Rose. What did Rose say?
All the states that have made laws preventing transgender people from using the bathrooms of their identified gender and having their passports remove X and just put male or female.
States that are making laws prohibiting transgender folk from being able to use the bathrooms of their choice. So all these little things, and they seem like it shouldn't be, the government shouldn't be able to do these things because these are so deeply personal in many cases. But this is the reality of where we live, right? This is the reality of the time that we're in now, and it seems absurd because I know that at least some folks on this bus were around or adjacent to civil rights movements. Is that not correct?
Amen.
I'm curious, for those in that category, how do you feel about the fact that we are addressing some of these same concerns again? What are your thoughts? How are you feeling about that?
I'm mad as hell.
Mad as hell.
And I don't know why we don't do anything, but I think it's because most of us are really afraid to die. And we may have, some of us may have to die in order to change what needs to be changed. I don't know. It's a possibility.
That was a statement. The statement from the back was that she thinks that part of the problem is that we're afraid to die, so we're not doing anything, and some may have to die in order for these changes to come again.
They died before.
Because that's what happened.
MLK said.
Yeah.
And that's what I just did. That's what he said. I know. That's what I did.
How many people agree with that statement that some people may have to? How many people are legitimately afraid?
Oh, everyone's afraid. I'm not afraid.
I'm afraid.
I am. I mean, for real. I am. But
I'm afraid as troops are being sent into cities without the governing bodies of that city requesting or asking for, and matter of fact, saying, please don't do it. Don't come. You will only agitate the situation. Do not come. And they are being ignored. The people in the cities elected, they have their elected leaders. And those leaders speak for the majority of the people. They won the elections. And the people who are in authority in those cities are saying, do not send troops. Do not come. And they are being ignored.
to that end.
A little bit to that.
Yes.
And a little bit to that I want to add is that the individual people don't have the voice to not come. It's the leadership over them. And so what we have to do is really pray for those people who are being forced to do something that is against them.
So I'm not advocating that, and maybe I am, that people
revolt, because I look at some of these other foreign countries, when the leaders are doing things that the people do not want, they do something about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know why, and I gotta include myself in that too, I guess, why we stand and let this happen when the people are saying we don't want this. And that the person who is in power is supposed to do what the will of the people say. So again, these other countries, when their leaders do not comply with what they're saying we want, they do something about those leaders. Right. The comment was that we know what areas of the city these troops are going to be in. I don't know if y'all been following, but if you have been, I just need to give a big shout out to the mayor of Chicago, because he is letting them have it, okay? He is letting them have it with Gold Sparrows. Like, you can come up in my shit if you want to, but you about to find out. So yay to him. I don't know if you'll ever see the snippet of this video, but he is giving them hell right now, and I'm so happy. So yes,
I was going to say, you know, that when she said that a lot of people are afraid, but here's my thing. Even the people that voted for Trump, if they know he's wrong or what he's doing is wrong, if the people that's for right for everybody in this country would come together, he can't kill us all. Like they did in Martin Luther King's time. He had a lot of people that marched with him. You know, all the Christian people of this country.
Who can
never mind what
translate
color.
that louder so I can hear it? I heard they can't kill us all and something about Trump. I didn't hear the rest of it.
No, I said that if all the people, just like in Martin Luther King, it took everybody, the good white folks or black folks or Mexicans or whatever, but everybody came together that was dissatisfied. And if you have, there is power in numbers. And if we all came instead of one person shouting, yeah, you can kill one person shouting, but in the first place, I feel like the laws ought to be the law. And he didn't even qualify educational-wise or any other way to be the president. And for people to vote for him for whatever reason, I said they voted for hate and lies, and that's what they got.
Right. So people that voted for him got what they wanted, the lies.
Yes.
But if even the people that voted for him that are dissatisfied and all the people that are dissatisfied come together,
yes,
the collective voice is louder than a single voice,
yes,
and they can kill one, but they can't kill us all. Is that
is correct?
Okay, great. I'll make sure I got it all. So this last part, actually, there's this last part for now, and then I'll have one part when we get back on the bus after we get back. Call to action. In any nonviolent campaign, there are 4 basic steps. 1, the collection of facts to determine whether injustices are alive. 2, negotiation. 3, self-purification. And 4, direct action. We have gone through all these steps in Birmingham. There could be no gainsaying of the fact that racial injustice engulfs this community. Birmingham is probably the most thoroughly segregated city in the United States. Its ugly record of police brutality is known in every section of this country. Its unjust treatment of Negroes in the courts is a notorious reality. At that time, in this particular time, Milwaukee is the #1 most segregated city in the country. Also in the top 5 of that list are Detroit, Newark, New Jersey, Hialeah, Florida, and Chicago. So my question about the call to action is this: what action can you take? And this might not be a question you can answer now, but I'll tell you, for me personally, if I'm on the front line of a protest, I'm a liability. I can't run, I have asthma. Somebody would have to be worried about making sure that I'm okay before they can effectively do what they need to do. So when protests happen in my town, in my area, I live close enough to downtown. Blue, I see your hand. I live close enough to downtown where I offer my home. People can come to my house as a home base. They can make signs. They can, rally, communicate, have a safe space to do what they need to do for planning. I also do educational dialogues and just community conversations. So that's what I can do. So in the call for action piece, what can you do? Can you be on the front lines? Can you? I saw Blue's hand and then I'll come back to you. Blue.
Yeah, first of all, the mission is with you and your family. Start there, you and your family educate and elevate the consciousness of your family and your relatives, your friends, your church members, your community groups. That's how you do it, and you do things that are community based on a regular basis that we always do, and keep the peace that way, and educate the children on how to treat one another. And don't depend on government or municipalities to teach your children or your families or whatnot how to live. You start with your family and your friends, and you make sure you keep the wagon circled around how they get treated.
Thank you. And Q. Did you?
I can be the driver. I'm driving here, man. People who can't make it to polling stations.
Q is a driver in the community, making sure people make it to polling stations, and that can't communicate, making sure they're in a space where they can get to where they have to go.
One last thing, based on what Blue said, we also need to be doing what the greater group is doing. When they go camping in the summer, it's not just camping. They are rifle rangers, they're learning how to live outdoors, their children know how to build fires, how to build shelters. We do not do that. We have no place to go but the city, so we better learn how to do that within the city. We are not preparing our children for what is very, very possible.
So survival training for the young people in the community that may not have access to that right now. In fact, we don't have access. George?
I'm just going to give a few notes on the Birmingham jail. When Dr. King was there, he was also there with Reverend Ralph Abernathy and Fred Shuttleworth. Started writing the letter to the Birmingham jail on newspaper, because that's all he had, or all the legal system would allow him to have. So his lawyer started to collect those papers, and that's how they got it published. Also, little scraps of paper, they took it back, and another pastor, Wyatt T. Walker, and his secretary put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. And that's how we got the letter from the Birmingham jail. The other thing is, you always see a picture of Dr. King, and we were told by Reverend Shuttlesworth's daughter that
Franny, do you know what side of the building?
In front.
In front. Yep.
I'm going to let you go.
We definitely want to hear more about this. We are here, we're parking in the front. Friends coming up to give us some instruction, and I will have another question about this afterwards, and hopefully we'll see some things in the museum that will inspire us with this conversation. Okay. So he's parking us in the bus lane. I think Fran's gonna go let them know that we're here. The last question will be about a topic from the letter called the white moderate, and that's where we kind of get into the conversation about allyship and what we can do across communities. So I hope that this is kind of a food for thought to open your mind up for the civil rights things that we're going to see here, and we'll have some more inspired conversation when we come back out today. So as always, thank you. I'll give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for participating, and yeah, we're about to see what's happening here. So maybe gather up whatever you want to gather and prepare to get off the bus. Yeah?
Guess what he was? A warrior. He could fight against anybody. Might be a reason to think, well, I wonder why they're so afraid of our men. You got a 12-year-old that can take you down, I'll be afraid. But anyway, that's another story. Okay. And for enslavement today, we have what we call invisible slavery, where you can see somebody walking out and you would not realize that they're a product of being enslaved. The biggest one is State Route 75 from Florida all the way to Canada, sex trafficking. That's our biggest enslavement in America. But State Route 75 is the biggest route for it. So if you live anywhere near State Route 75, then you know that there's some type of sex trafficking in your area. And the majority of it now, it used to be the women. Now it's become the children, because our kids are having issues and they're leaving home because their parents or something might not be understanding who they are, or whatever the case they might be. They're gonna find, we used to call them the pimps, you know, they have the hat and the suit and the pimpettes now too. Women have gotten involved in this too because it's big business. And anywhere there's money making, we're all in it. And so, but they're doing it to our children. We gotta find a way to accept our children and to make sure that they're safe. Because these people are taking them and putting them on drugs and putting them out in the street, and that's another story. I want to get through this. Then you have the film, The Struggle Continues. So we ended up at the end of the Civil War that picks up with the rights. So women's rights, civil rights and stuff like that is in that movie. Then we have a special exhibit that's going to be leaving next month called Faith and Injustice. It's talking about Abraham's religion, where all the religions came out of. Abraham was responsible for 3, right? Judaism, Christianity, and Islamic. So it talks about their faith. And if you go in there, you're going to find a bottle of water that came from Flint. From in Michigan, so you know it's poison. Yes. Okay. All right, and then on the second floor is geared to the Underground Railroad. You're gonna see a building once you get on the second floor that most people think, oh, this is a slave quarter. No, that was a slave pen. That means that this was a jail. This man that had this, John W. Anderson, was originally from Virginia, and in Virginia he had a horse farm. But he joined the War of 1812, and after the war, he became a colonel in that war, and after the war, he was given land in Kentucky, and Kentucky already had horse farms, so he decided to go into the business of buying and selling people. So when you can go up the stairs and look in where the fireplace was. That's the only thing that we couldn't save on this building was the fireplace. And you're gonna see beams up on the floor, upstairs. That's the second floor. And that was geared for any male 12 years old and up. Because those were the ones that they were afraid of and they had to chain up. So those being 12 years and up was on that second floor. We took it off because he put his name in the wall, which you won't be able to see. But the men were chained by their ankles. So this ankle will be chained to the man standing next to him, and this ankle will be chained to the man standing next to them. And once a day, he would come in and exercise those people. This is the second slave pen he owned. First slave pen, he had a female. Back then, they thought all women were docile. They didn't need us. But anyway, he had a female in there by the name of Peggy. Peggy got out. Peggy set the building on fire, and Peggy ran. But unfortunately, Peggy got caught in Kentucky, and because she burned down Mr. Anderson's slave pen, the state of Kentucky executed her by hanging her. And then he paid Mr. Anderson $400 is what he paid for Peggy. And then he built the pen that's up there now. So what you see is the last one that he had. So what he would do is that he would exercise those men once a day, just twice a year. During the planting season and the harvesting season, he would march these people, and he would have anywhere from 40 to 60 people to Natchez, Mississippi. And we found this in Maysville, Kentucky, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from here. So for their walk, it was a 50-mile journey. They walked 20 miles a day for 40 days, and then they were sold down south, what we call down south. And if you happen to be a female and you were looked at as being mulatto or quad, which means that if you were mulatto, you were mixed with white blood, And if you were quad, you was mixed with all three, white, black, and Native American. Then you were sold in New Orleans, Barclay. So that is there. We also have a movie that's called Escape, that's number 10. But if you can only see one film, that number 11, Brothers of the Borderland, is a nice film to watch. It's a good film. Miss Oprah Winfrey narrates that film because it talks about Ripley, Ohio, which sits about maybe 45 minutes east of us, and it sits right on the river. And that whole town was related to each other, and the whole town worked on the Underground Railroad. And they said if you made it to Ripley, there was only one black man with a family, and he was from Virginia, but he moved there, and well, I'll tell you about that anyway. But if they said if you made it to Ripley, you were free because they never lost a passenger. But John Parker was the black man that lived in Ripley, Ohio. He ended up buying his freedom. He escaped so many times, but he got caught. And this man never had a picture taken of him because he would actually sneak over into Kentucky and talk to all the enslaved people and say, if you're ready to leave, I'll meet you at a certain place at a certain time, and if you're there, I'm taking you across the river and you'll be free. So he had a $10,000 bounty on his head, and nobody knew what he looked like. And he never got caught. So, and then the Harriet Tubman Theater, which, is that playing now?
It should be on.
It should be on. Okay, so there's a movie at the top of the hour and a movie at the bottom of the hour. Okay, all your movie times are on the bottom, on the back of your page. So, and there's movies throughout the Freedom Center. Any questions that you have for me? Yes. Is the what? For the library, it's open till 4 o'clock.
What time are we meeting?
That's the question. Training?
There she is.
They want to know what time they have to leave.
What time we?
You have access to us until 5 o'clock, so.
But what time
I'm not
is
sure
it?
what your lesson schedule is.
Thank you. I don't have my itinerary on me.
Yeah, you need to let them know what time you're gonna have to meet you down. But if you're not leaving at 5 o'clock, that's good. Then
I think that's what it is.
so, you guys have your badges on. If you need to go out to get anything, you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure you have your badge on so you can get back in. You can get back in until 4:45, okay? And then somebody will have to let you in. Oh, I see somebody with badges on. Okay, if you don't have a badge, just stop at the desk and let them know that you're stepping out for a minute, okay? All right. Any questions?
We were scheduled here 2.5 hours. Okay, so that is 5.
Okay,
so let's get
going.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Deborah, you're saying you got
say?
The Queen.
Something the Queen of the
Some
City.
the Queen City.
Queen City. No.
Sing the Queen City.
Sing. Okay, I was gonna say it said something before the Queen City. That
Or sung the Queen's, sung the Queen City or something like that. I don't know.
too fancy for me to read.
Man, you see that? That bridge. Yeah, that's connected right across the street. Right across the street. Right across the street.
One thing for certain, this bullshit will never happen again. It ain't gonna happen no more. Not with these youth. Not with these youth. It ain't gonna happen now with these youth. It ain't gonna happen now with these youth.
Well, but you know what? By the time they start bombing everything, as soon as like
We got something for them if they start attacking us.
well,
Straight up.
I do believe we have something for them. They have those nuclear weapons
No,
and
look,
bombs and
you
stuff.
ever heard
and
that?
they'll
You
do
ever know what they scared of folks? UFOs. That's our people. People don't believe that, but that's our people. That's our people. As soon as they attack us with that, like that, that's what's gonna come down. Cause the wheels take him out. They scared of those, and that's why they keep it classified, cause they don't know how to deal with it.
Oh, okay, well, you know, I've definitely heard that in some form of fashion, but they gonna take a lot of us out with their bombs and stuff.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't want to get in your picture.
No, he was all right. He was all right. Oh, that's a movie. Can't watch that movie. Ain't got time. Said we can't watch that movie. We ain't got time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I wonder if these,
this
the
is
fails, that you know, we were talking about, like how they had to get them weighed and
His
stuff.
day. How he tricked us. Made us blind, deaf, and dumb. Beautiful hat. You all right?
Wow.
I have to come back to this. Had to come back to this museum and really dissect it. Need to bring our youth to these museums so they can see. Across that river over here is freedom. There's a few little feet, a few 100 yards. And man's inhumanity to man. It's just evil, you know how. I mean, I know all my teachers and lessons and everything, who these people are and whatnot, but to see how evil humanity can be to humanity. It's just, it's mind-numbing. Because it's just, I try to be a compassionate person, and there's all of this evil that's been done over the centuries, man. It's just, it makes me think back to the flood, It's like all this wickedness comes from all of that, See why God repented. He actually repented about making man. Man is so evil, has a tendency to be so evil. We can be great when we want to be, but when we have institutions like this showing the evil is good, because it shows that we got a long way to go, especially looking at the exhibit of the slavery today that's still going on. There ain't nobody saying nothing about it. We just go about our lives and, everything's okay because ain't nothing happening to us. There's so many people that's in bondage, but, and everybody on the planet has been victimized.
Is that what you saw in there that made you cry or that brought tears? What was it specifically? Can you talk about it?
It was just the weight of all of this, looking at it and then reflecting back on last year's trip and seeing all this stuff. The energy in here is heavy with the cry of lost souls and fallen comrades. And just, it makes you angry. And, and it's like these 12-year-old kids just tearing up the planet. That's what I call them, 12-year-olds. It's just tearing up the planet. And they don't get their way to just start blowing up stuff, killing people, decimating cities. They don't care. It's like I couldn't walk through a place like this and really feel if I was one of them. I don't know what they feel, but I know what it makes me feel. And it's not for me to feel angry and lash out or anything like that. I'm inspired to be an even better person. That's what inspires me to do it. It's like if they can hate,
you can love.
I gotta love my people first, though. My people first. Because we got a lot of love. We gotta love on each other first.
Understood.
Because when we stop killing each other, we can come together and raise the babies into love, and knowledge of self, knowledge of others, and have knowledge of self to a point where you will not be denied your human rights and your cosmic rights. So that's all I got to say about that.
Okay.
Quilts. Giant quilts. What's up, brother?
was a few. My mistress had a good heart. She taught me to read and write. After emancipation, I found work at the Gilbert Academy, a new school for people of color. In time, they let me attend classes in return for my labor. I kept on working right through straight college.
It's almost 3:30, son.
Almost 2:30.
It's almost 3:30. It's a quarter after.
Is that how they chained the slaves out?
Yeah. Some of our cribs still look like this. Some of our houses still look like this.
There were some questions that were on the walls that were in the first exhibit. I'm going to run a couple of these by you all. See what you think.
Oh, thank you.
So one of the questions on the in this place theater was, what does freedom mean to you? Being able to breathe from here in the front. What else? Being able to tell somebody to leave them alone. I see Ms. Rose's hand in the back.
Having control over your own life and your own choices.
We can't. Can you shout?
Having control over your own life and your own choices.
Having control over your whole life and your own choices.
Yeah.
Great. What else?
Being able to voice what I think and believe.
Being able to voice what you think and believe. Freedom of speech. Can somebody send a couple waters up front, please? Yes, a cue. Being judged by the content of her character, not the color of her skin. How about being able to take a walk around the block? And wherever you are. How about being able to walk in a store without having people follow you because of what you may look like?
Who needs water?
Who needs water? One up, two up. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to send a few more up front.
All right, I'll bring the whole box.
Can you bring some chips?
Freedom. It's really powerful. How about being able to watch what you want to watch? As these networks become conglomerates and you kind of get lost in the battle, right? And then how do you know when you won? Because you have no visualization of what it is that you want, right? So I think it would be a great exercise if we all kind of did that. Maybe when we get together tomorrow, we can talk about what that looks like, kind of visualize what a free future looks like for us, for our friends and family in other countries around the globe. What does that look like? You know, does it look like being able to get on a plane and go where you want to go and see who you want to see without having to go through 4 hours of a security check? Does it look like not having your passport flagged when you get ready to go through TSA? What does it look like? You know? So I think that would be a really fun exercise. Anybody have anything else to share before we roll?
Can we get everybody to check in before we roll?
Did everybody, you mean does everybody have their everybody? Everybody's here on the bus.
I got
all
all
show
mine.
the group captains get your phone numbers of your people?
I'm checking in, mine are all here.
All of your people are accounted for. Okay, great. We are rolling. I think that in a little bit, we'll decide if our first break is going to be a short break or a dinner break. We have a pretty significant drive ahead of us, so we'll chill out for a little bit, and maybe after the first break, we'll probably move in. What do you guys think?